Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
There's no turning back now.
Let's put on the show.
You're listening to the Station 71 podcast. My name is Mario, and this week I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Beth,
Brian,
and Kirsten.
So this week we're going to continue our discussion from last week about Disney bucket list. We realized we had a lot of things left on the table still, so we're going to do some of those. But first, we have a little bit of news to talk about this week. First thing on our list is that Disney World has extended their ticket expirations to September 26, 2021. They previously shared on their policy that unexpired multi-day theme park tickets would be extended through the use period of March 12th, 2020. And with the closures, they're extending it further beyond that again. So that's exciting. If you have unused tickets, I think that's a good call on Disney's part to just keep extending it.
yeah, definitely.
you guys remember when you used to be able to buy tickets that didn't expire?
Right?
I miss that, man. That was the best.
Those were the days.
Remember when every day wasn't a different ticket price? That was
Yeah, even more recently.
So the next thing that we have on here is that Disney is seeking cultural representatives for 2021 for the World Showcase. We kind of saw this coming with how they had issues getting the cultural representatives or international cast members back home pre-quarantine. But there was a posting listed on the Disney Careers website the other day. So looks like they're starting to attempt to staff World Showcase, which means that when it opens, it's not going to be international CMs. I know I've seen a couple people upset about that, but like, if you're going now, I think you need to give them a little bit of grace.
Exactly. It's better than not having Epcot open at all.
Yeah.
And along with that, the union has decided that Disney won't restart the college program anytime soon, probably similarly enough to the cultural exchange program or the cultural representative program. Just makes sense that they're not bringing.
This is not confirmed.
Yes. Right.
I personally, so the people who said it were the union. Well, the union typically don't like the Disney College program. I mean, I get it because they make it easier for Disney to not like pay full-time employees real wages. But I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. I feel like Blog Mickey, it annoys me. I feel like I don't necessarily trust them, and them saying, as a reminder, we were the first to bring you the news that the Disney College program participants were being sent home, doesn't make me feel better. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to remind me that you're credible if you're credible. I don't know. But
no, I get that. I think the biggest thing with this is just for both of these programs, if Disney doesn't have any intentions to start them relatively soon, we can't expect them to start these until the parks come back up. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this is like the international stuff is, it looks like they're starting to bring it back because like that article said there is a blog posting, but I really don't think that they'll bring college program people back until we're back to normal. That's my takeaway from this.
And I will say
specifically because like you mentioned before, Kirsten, if something goes wrong and they have to start closing things again, like it's going to be harder, especially if they just brought college program kids back in.
Yeah. And I will say that I know, and y'all may have discussed this or known this, I don't know, that full-time employees got information on having the option to transfer temporarily to attractions, custodial, costuming, food and beverage, or sales, but there's no mention of part-time or seasonal.
Did not know that.
Interesting.
And then I guess the final little bit of news here that I don't think we're going to spend much time on is that the NBA and Disney have reached a point where they are going to host the NBA season at Walt Disney World. They're also using Disney property to house players, and this entire season is going to take place on Disney property, which is interesting.
Weird.
I never thought we would hit a point where we would talk about sports like this.
I want to know where they're staying, just out of curiosity. I don't think it says. I just wish that it did. I want to know, are they staying in like the really nice ones, or are they staying in the ones that are close to Wide World of Sports?
Oh,
I would assume they're really nice.
They're not putting LeBron in the All-Stars, all right?
Come on, it's All-Star
sports. But it doesn't matter.
There was a couple rumor posts that I saw a couple days ago that were saying that they were thinking that it was going to be Coronado Springs and Gran Destino were going to be the places that they were going to house them. I don't know. But I agree. They're not going to I don't think they're going to put them close. And I think if the NBA is housing their season at Disney, they have to provide some kind of transportation, whether it's Disney or the NBA. Like, I don't think their proximity to Wide World of Sports is really going to matter much.
I want to see a bunch of basketball teams on Disney buses together.
Better yet, the minivans. I think that would be nice.
Oh, goodness. So now that we have kind of rolled through that, anything you guys want to talk about before we do the bucket list? We
have housekeeping.
Yes, we do have housekeeping.
I also want to know, do any of you watch basketball, NBA?
I do not.
No.
I don't really keep up with basketball.
Okay, cool. Next.
Was there a reason, or?
No, I was just curious if anyone was excited about this on the show, at least.
No.
I'm sure there are
Could
people
care
excited
less.
about this. I just didn't know if it was any of us.
Yeah, no. I do not care about basketball at all.
So yeah, our oopsie on the movie club. So we put out a poll after discussing with a few folks on Discord what movie we would be doing our next Disney Plus Watch Club. And we determined that we were going to make it sports related. And Mighty Ducks ended up being the winner. And someone brought to our attention that Mighty Ducks doesn't actually come to Disney Plus until July 3rd. So second place was Remember the Titans. And that's what we're going to do for our next one. But I think the plan will probably be to do Mighty Ducks at some point in the future, maybe end of July or later. So hopefully nobody gets too upset about that.
Well, I'm interested to watch this movie because I have not seen Remember the Titans in a long time, and I'm not a football person. So,
I
Yeah.
love Remember the
This will be
Titans, and I
interesting.
don't care about football at all.
really?
Such a good movie. Yeah.
It is a great movie.
So, bringing it to our topic this week, we decided, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to do more of our Disney bucket lists. At the end of last week's episode, we decided we had a lot more to say on this topic and figured it deserved a two-parter. So, I guess I'll start off this week and we can go round robin like we did last time. First thing I have on mine, which I kind of wanted to end mine with last week, so I guess I'll start it with this week, is attend a 24-hour Disney event and stay the majority of the time. I know that they don't really do that as often anymore. I think New Year's maybe is the only time that they've done it recently. But I think it would be fun to be in the parks at an hour that I shouldn't be. I know for sure I could not stay up 24 hours. So maybe like not rope drop to the next day, but definitely would like to do that at some point.
Mario, you could challenge my personal record.
I will not challenge that in the slightest bit.
On my last trip, I stayed awake for 32 hours straight.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So I could do it.
I
would love to do a
nope.
24-hour event. I would have to get some serious sleep the night before, though.
Yeah, I would. I would
What do you
love to do a
think the odds
24-hour
are?
event.
What do you think the odds are that they do 24 hours for the 50th?
I think low.
I
I think
don't
it's going to
know.
be insane enough.
Yeah, probably.
At the same
Probably pretty
time, though, I feel like if they're not going to be able to do a lot of stuff that they were planning on doing because of financial issues, something like this that isn't really going to cost them that much might be something they look towards.
It's an easy
That's a
way
good
to
point.
True.
it's an easy way to crowd disperse too. Like, you know, I just said I know I would not be able to stay the full 24 hours, and I know that the 24-hour events tend to be a little bit more crazier because people try to do the full 24 hours. But I think you have that crowd that will come in the morning and then leave midway through the day, and then you'll also be able to have people come in through the day, so you avoid hitting capacity as early as possible.
Plus, I mean, how many people realistically would be at the parks at 2 a.m, especially people with small children, you know?
Yeah. Now you're breaking my heart because I hadn't really considered my child.
It's an afterthought.
Yeah.
Put them down for a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand them
See how
off
well
to
that goes.
somebody else. Make your parents watch them or something.
So Beth,
So-
what's on your list?
Similarly to yours, I had on my list that I want to party in World Showcase on New Year's Eve.
Ooh.
Because
Ooh.
I know that Magic Kingdom is a lot of people's go-to park for New Year's Eve, but I've heard that Epcot is really awesome also, and that they have like a little separate party in several of the pavilions, so you can kind of go from like party to party, and they have DJs and like dance floors and lights and cool stuff. A friend of mine did New Year's Eve in Epcot and spoke of it very highly, so I want to give
That's
it a shot.
awesome. And I've never
I've heard that
really
it's like
thought to do
pretty
Epcot.
crazy. I've heard that it's for older people, like not young children.
Yeah. I mean,
I-
it makes sense being at Epcot and New Year's Eve combined.
Yeah.
Sounds ideal to me.
I'm interested if you do get to try to hit Epcot on New Year's Eve at some point, what your thoughts would be on that, because I feel like this is going to sound really bad. I feel like Epcot already has the reputation of it being the drinking park. So like mix that with New Year's Eve, it's probably pretty
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I'll try this year, assuming it all stays in a good place.
Yeah.
So, Brian, what's next on your list?
I have a very simple one that's probably never going to happen, but I want to meet Joe Rody. That's
That was almost on my list, but I thought it was too close to like the Dine with an Imagineer thing I mentioned last week.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
And
It's on mine.
honestly, when you had mentioned that last week, I was just thinking like, I'm sure he doesn't even do them, but it's like, could you imagine if you like sign up for that and just happen to be like
He
Joe
was the
Rody?
one.
I know, like I wouldn't be able to like function properly. But yeah, I don't know. He's definitely one of my favorite Imagineers of all time, and I would just love to sit down and just listen to him talk about the development of Animal Kingdom and everything. I just think he seems like an incredibly, incredibly interesting person to talk to.
Yeah.
I had him and or Tony Baxter on
Yeah.
my list.
I would
Nice.
be interested to talk to Tony Baxter at some point too. I know that would be like the same situation where you probably wouldn't be able to say anything really.
And I don't want to talk. I just want them to talk.
You just want to listen.
Yeah. So, Kirsten?
I have the yacht cruise on mine, like where you rent the yacht from Grand Floridian, and you can like have food on it and whatever.
Oh, that's cool. I hadn't even
Fun.
heard of that.
I actually haven't either. That sounds pretty cool though.
You remember when we did like the most expensive day at Disney? Basically everything on my bucket list is like if I was living out that day.
Makes sense. That'd be cool though. That sounds very classy.
You can do
So-
it for like small parties and like I think big up to like maybe 18, and they have like a whole catering menu, and you can do it during the fireworks. And
All right, so who's gonna rent this out for us? Because now I'm interested.
after we buy my new computer, we can start saving.
Well, if we split the cost 18 ways, it can't be that bad, can it?
True.
Oh, I'm sure it's still pretty bad.
I think the actual yacht rental isn't that much, but I think the catering menu is where they get you. I don't know if they have food minimums.
Right.
Oh, we can just
Well,
pack a lunch.
No.
I'll do the old vodka in the water bottle trick.
Starts at $2.99 plus tax. That's not expensive at all.
How
no,
much?
it's not at all.
$2.99 plus tax. That's what it starts at.
That's
How
not
many
bad.
is that for? How
Oh
many
wait, sorry.
people?
Rental prices for the grand one start at $399 per hour plus tax.
Oh, that's
Private
per
dining,
hour.
butler service, and other enhancements are available for an additional charge.
Oof.
You can accommodate 18 people or 17 if traveling with a butler. Obviously, we're going to travel with a butler. So
Obviously.
There's no other way.
We're doing
not
the yacht
peasants.
cruise.
Clearly, we'll have a butler.
So my next one is oddly specific. I want to stay on property long enough to see the changeover from Halloween to Christmas and attend both a Halloween and Christmas party on the same trip.
That would be fun. I feel like that's such a weird combo, but it sounds fun. I don't know. I'm very much so like I'm in the Halloween mindset, and I have to move into the Christmas mindset, and I feel like the same trip might be too close together for me. But
The only reason I think I would want to do it is just to like be at the last Halloween party, which already sounds like a nightmare. And then like at least go to Magic Kingdom like every day, not like stay in Magic Kingdom every day, but at least check in every day just to see how the changeover goes. And then finally see the Christmas party as like its full blown thing. Cause we know they move fast.
it was overnight
Yeah.
that they take down. Like they take down all the Halloween stuff one night, and then the next night they put up all the Christmas stuff.
But is it still all the Christmas stuff? I thought they kind of like they took everything down overnight, but it was like they put up stuff until the Christmas party. I could be wrong about that though.
well, I thought they
It's
left
overnight.
the pumpkins on the lamppost. I thought they left those for a while.
I don't know. This is why I have to plan a trip like this.
Yeah, exactly. I just remember watching some sort of documentary about it and watching like a time lapse of the night that they put up all the Christmas stuff. So it may be that they leave up the pumpkin stuff on the lanterns or lampposts for
Maybe
a while.
that's just considered
and then
fall.
Yeah, and then they take it down like the night before the first Christmas party or something.
Obviously, one of us
Who
needs to
knows?
take the Christmas, like the Christmas tour where you see all the Christmas decorations, and ask this question.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So me,
Yes.
I have a few that are very easily accomplishable. They're just things that I haven't done yet. So I think I'm going to say ride one of the Surrey bikes along the boardwalk. Because
That
that
sounds-
sounds fun.
That does
me.
sound fun. That sounds like a nice obtainable thing, and it also sounds like a nice like I have some extra time, let me do it kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always the problem, is not having the extra time. But
Yeah.
I know I've talked before when we stayed at Port Orleans and we rented bikes. That was such a fond memory for me, just riding around the property on a bike. So I feel like riding the little Surrey bikes where you're sitting side by side,
Mhm.
sounds really cute and fun and something that I've always wanted to do.
It's a good one.
Your turn, Brian.
I guess kind of in the same vein of that one that's not that hard to do, but I haven't done yet is see a Cirque du Soleil show at Disney Springs.
Mm.
Well, it's going to be hard to do right now because there isn't one.
That's true.
I'm interested to see what happened, like how the one that they're going to put in there is. I think that would definitely shift me to wanting to actually do one again.
Yeah. Wasn't it supposed to open while during this time period?
Probably.
I think so. If not, they were supposed to be working on it.
But yeah, I've only heard good things about it, so.
It said that the show was supposed to open for previews on March 20th and officially debut on April 17th. But
well, maybe it will open back up with everything else.
Soon, eventually. Have you guys seen a Cirque du Soleil show? Obviously you said you haven't seen one at Disney Springs. Have you seen one in another place at all?
I've seen
No,
a
and that's
few.
why I would really like to see the Cirque du Soleil one at Disney Springs. But honestly, I'd really just like to see a Cirque du Soleil show.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Disney Springs is the closest place to me that would do it.
Well, they tour.
Yeah.
That's how I've seen 2 Cirque du Soleil shows. I haven't seen the ones at Disney Springs, but the ones that I have seen have been tours in Charlotte and Greenville and stuff like that.
I don't
I've
think
only
they'll
seen a
come
Cirque du
anywhere near
Soleil
me
show.
though. So
I've seen I saw the one at Disney Springs when it was Lanuba, and I saw a touring one. They were both good. The one at Disney is a lot nicer because you have that permanent space for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
that's if you're going to see one Brian specifically, that's probably the way to go.
okay.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just the idea of a Disney themed Cirque du Soleil show sounds amazing because the 2 that I've seen have obviously nothing to do with Disney, and I loved them both.
My favorite is O, but it's water. And so I think it's really hard to compare. Everything else besides that kind of falls short. And I don't think that there's any water in the Disney one.
There wasn't when I saw it, unless they're going to add it to this new one. I can't imagine that they will.
Well, if they had asked my opinion, I would have said that. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
This is a really simple one. I don't know why it appeals to me so much. I just really want to eat at Tiffin's. I mean, there are a lot of nice restaurants I haven't eaten at, but that one specifically, I just really want to go to.
Aren't you a picky eater?
Yeah.
So it doesn't scare you, or does it? Because I've heard Tiffin's is very adventurous.
I mean, I'll find something. And
Yeah.
I'm not a send it back person, but I whenever I'm ordering drinks and stuff, I will nicely be well, I don't know, this is what I like, so you just make me whatever you think, and I'll probably like it.
Yeah.
So I will ask for stuff on the side or whatever in a nice way.
You don't want to get that whole sustainable fish where they bring you the whole fish on the plate?
Oh,
I love fish, but no, I don't want it to stare at me while I'm eating it.
I'm an adventurous eater, and I would not eat that.
Mm-hmm.
So my turn. This one's also probably fairly attainable, but I want to attend a candlelight processional.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
I think that's one that hasn't been on my bucket list in recent years, and I think as we've talked about it more recently, I've been more interested. I think that's something that I definitely want to do, ASAP.
Is there a specific, what do they call them, narrator that you would want to see?
I don't really know. I mean, since it changes so much, I think it would be hard to pick someone, but I don't know. Is there one that you had in mind specifically?
Oh, no. I mean, there are a ton of people I think I would like to see that based on previous years, but not really one in specific that I would go versus any other.
this is going to sound really bad because it's definitely like a different scale event, but I feel kind of the same way about like the people narrating Candlelight Processional that I do when I see like the list of like the Garden Rocks or Eat to the Beat people. It's more like I'm not looking for someone specific, but if I see someone specific there, I'm going to be more interested in it, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's a little different for me because there are definitely bands that have done Garden Rocks or Eat to the Beat that I would, if I had a little bit of flexibility in my trip, I would probably try to go see.
Yeah, but you wouldn't plan a
Simple
trip just
Plan.
around like Simple Plan being at Garden
No,
Rocks.
no. if I just so happen to be going around the same time and I had a day or two flexibility and I could move it around, I might. Just because they were like 13-year-old me heart throbs.
I have never been so excited as when we planned our trip in October, November, and the Eat to the Beat performer was Kenny G.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I love Kenny G.
Is he a heartthrob?
No, he has weird, long, curly hair.
He's like a heartthrob to certain people,
I just
maybe.
love his music.
Yeah.
So Beth, it's
Oh,
your
yeah.
turn.
Sorry. Okay. This one is not even probably very difficult to obtain either, but probably difficult for me because I suck at it. I would like to score the max score on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin.
I thought about putting that.
I know that there are ways that you can do it, and if you look it up online, but I feel like that's kind of cheating. But I also feel like even if I did look it up online, I would still struggle with it. So I'll probably just end up doing it.
I will say I know where all of these spots are for the high points, and I have maxed out the score a few times, but it is not easy.
Yeah.
I still struggle with it, even knowing where the spots are.
I'm just very bad at
it when I lived there, but now, like last time I tried and I couldn't do it.
Dang.
All right, my turn.
Yes.
I just want to go to Tokyo Disney Sea. I feel like this is something way, way far off, but it's something I really, really hope I'm able to do at some point.
Yeah. I actually had plans in the works late last year, early this year to try and go to Tokyo, but obviously coronavirus ruined all of that. It's supposed to be my big 30th birthday bash,
Aw.
but
Now, were you
one day-
going kind of specifically to go to Disney Sea, or were you wanting to do other stuff in Tokyo?
definitely wanted to do other stuff. Laz and I are both like kind of anime nerds, Pokemon. He loves video games, and I just like Japanese culture a lot. So I feel like we were planning on spending at least a week there, just doing all the stuff that we wanted to do, or some of the stuff. I know that we probably couldn't do it all in a week, but definitely was going to go to the Disney parks during my time.
Cool.
Yeah, we were kind of semi-planning, but then I got my share meet and greet, and
Of course.
Share is the priority.
share is always the priority. Another one that probably won't happen: eat at a Club 33.
Mm,
Property. I would like to eat at the original, but
I just have to go to Club 33. I don't even have to eat there.
I just want to look
obviously
in the
that'd be
door.
ideal. Yeah, pretty much. I just want to be in it.
take pictures.
Get the street cred.
I mean,
Yeah.
that has to be the ultimate Disney flex, right? I don't
Oh,
think there's
for sure.
anything above that.
Yeah, I mean, if you met somebody and they told you they were a Club 33 member, that would be the ultimate Disney street cred for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I think even the like Cinderella suite is kind of just like, oh, you got lucky. Like
Right.
you're in Club 33, you know, you were a part of like elite society at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Very rich, very big Disney fans.
Yeah, I actually, before the custom mouse ears were the thing, it was like the custom bows. Do y'all remember that?
Vaguely.
Okay, because I have a Club 33 themed bow prepared for whoever to pick it up.
Nice.
So back to my turn. I had kind of in that same vein of like feeling like you really need to know somebody. I have attend a Disney wedding on here. Mostly because like I think that would be cool and I want to see how Disney handles it.
Just to attend one, not to have one.
Oh no, that ship has. I'm not even gonna think about that.
You could make it
one of my-
easier and just
we talked
crash a
about-
Disney wedding.
I mean that too. That's.
You probably could.
Do you think it would be that easy or like?
How would you? I mean,
one.
What was that, Kirsten?
If it was a big one.
I mean that's true. I mean they really probably aren't counting that many people. I guess, right?
Yeah, I went
surely
to.
they're not just letting anyone walk in, right?
Well, I mean, my friend that came on and did the interview, they got married at Seabreeze Point, so that would have been super obvious. But I would really want to crash the reception. That's what I would keep an eye out for. So like,
Kirsten's giving us the insider tips.
like the contemporary ballrooms where they have like the really big ones,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be what I would do if I were gonna try something.
I guarantee if you walked up to one in your own Mickey Mouse costume, they would not stop you. Everybody would just think that you were part of the celebration.
Have to get a really good one though.
Yeah. Can't
Not
go
one
around
of those
with, like,
like
stand on
Not
the
the New York
street in
straight
New York.
ones. Oh.
The creepy soulless ones.
Or the ones where their heads come out of their neck.
Oh,
Mm.
So
Okay,
Beth.
my turn.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say the next one I'm going to go with is to camp at Fort Wilderness. And I know that we had a whole episode about it, and it kind of made me want to, but I also at the same time struggle with the idea of I really want to do actual camping, if not in a tent, at least in an RV to get like the experience of it.
That's
But
not camping.
Why not? It's glamping.
you've never gone camping at all before?
I've been camping in a tent once.
Tent camping and RV camping are two very different
Very
things.
different.
I could do tent camping if I had a more comfortable thing to sleep on, because last time I did not. I just had one of those kind of primitive pallet things. And I ended up just taking all of the clothes I had brought and stacking them up to give myself a little extra padding because I was so uncomfortable.
Oh, they make things like to make that a lot easier. Like they have self-inflating air mattresses where you like open the tube and it fills up for you and then you just roll it out.
I'm just not interested in spending a whole lot of money on camping equipment if I'm not going to actually go camping very often, which I'm almost 30 and I've only been once.
I guess that's fair.
But I struggle especially with the idea of camping at Disney World because the idea of going to the parks all day and then coming back to a tent with no air conditioning makes me nauseous.
I will
but I think it'd be
say,
fun to do it like one night of the trip and then go stay in a hotel for the rest of the trip or something.
yeah. Or I definitely wouldn't want to do tent camping. I've done primitive tent camping in Georgia where it's cooler. Me and my wife have a ton of like camping gear, and we have not gone tent camping a single time since we moved to Florida because it is so hot. So yeah, I couldn't imagine coming back after a long day in the park and trying to sleep in a hot tent.
Yeah. That would just have to be the first night where I don't like it's my arrival night and I'm not going to a park and I just check out the next day and go stay at whatever resort I'm staying at.
Well, I would highly recommend Fort Wilderness to anybody that's considering it.
it didn't make my list of things like to talk about on this, but I do really want to try Fort Wilderness at least once.
Do we have an anti bucket list, like things that we never, ever want to do?
That would actually be kind of fun episode.
We should do that.
Yeah, we can put characters in flight down for me for sure.
Oh my gosh. But I really like the vibe of Fort Wilderness, and the times that I've gone to just hang out or whatever have been pretty cool. So I think staying there for a night would be fun to just ride your bike around and hang.
Yeah,
I really want to see one of the golf cart parades.
It is a sight to see for sure.
Yeah.
But I would definitely recommend, if you want to do it, I think it is so worth it if you stay there, to at least spend a day, at least a whole half day, just at Fort Wilderness doing the activities that they have around there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. My next one, I want to do the Highway in the Sky dine around, where you take the monorail to the 3 different monorail resorts and do the I think it starts off at the Contemporary, where you do appetizers and then go to, I can't remember, I think it's Grand Floridian after that.
I mean,
Anyways,
I feel really bad because I can't remember the monorail order either. That's very bizarre.
Well, I'm thinking because it goes in the opposite direction as the park loop. So
yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, it's like a 4-course meal that they do at all 3 of the monorail resorts. So. And then
is this legit, or is this like Drink Around the World? Is this an official thing?
There's an official one. A lot of people have started doing their own itinerary one, but there's an actual official, you sign up for it, make reservations with Disney, and they take you around. And then you end at, I think, the Contemporary, and you watch fireworks.
So I just looked it up in case you guys are interested in knowing the actual itinerary. So
yes.
So you start at the 2nd floor of the convention center at the Contemporary, where you meet your guides, and then your first stop is Polynesian, and you have island-inspired libations and appetizers. Then you go to the Grand Floridian for Victorian-style hospitality, cuisine, and whatever, and then you end at the Wave of American Flavors. Oh, and from this exclusive location, or you retire to a private patio to enjoy an indulgent assortment of desserts, cordials, and coffee. From this exclusive location, watch and wonder as the happily ever after fireworks show lights up the night. I didn't know that you got that included. Pretty cool. It's $170 per person.
Which is a lot of money for sure. But it's
if
not
you're thinking
that
about
bad.
Yeah. If you're thinking about it in terms of everything it's got with it, you're hitting up how many restaurants? I think that's the biggest takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to think about the time you're saving.
Fun.
With not making reservations at each place and blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
So Kirsten,
yes.
What's next on
this
yours?
is a super simple one. I'm honestly kind of embarrassed that I've never done that. It's just one of those things that we say we need to do that. We never have time. Behind the Scenes tour.
That was also on mine.
Definitely.
I love it.
The one that always gets me about this one, because this was on mine too, it's so affordable, but like you said, it's just one that I never have time for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I've been dying to do it again. We almost did it on my last trip, but we didn't make the time. But I'm really glad that I did it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's, if you like Epcot for what Epcot is supposed to be, a park that entertains you but also educates you on stuff, I think Behind the Seeds is kind of the perfect cheap culmination of that pretty much anybody could afford to go do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And those cucumbers.
They are good.
So my turn, kind of similar to that. I want to do Keys to the Kingdom. I
Mhm.
have like toyed around with that idea for a while, and I'm always on the fence of like, do I want to do this and find out how all of these things work, or do I want to, satisfy the inner Disney nerd in me?
I felt like I was very enriched by it. And this was like, I was pretty hardcore into Disney, but not as much so as I have become since I became a pass holder, at least. And I still felt like I said, very enriched by it. The tour guide was super knowledgeable and answered all my nerdy questions, and getting to see behind the scenes of attractions and hear the little Easter eggs and stuff that I didn't already know was really cool. And the utilidors. I know that's like such a cast members are like, who cares thing. It's like a dirty dank hallway. But it's exciting for someone who had never been there.
I would like to see them.
Yeah. Plus it's fun seeing the characters walking around backstage. Like I saw Snow White walking around in like bloomers. And it was very jarring, but it was kind of fun at the same time. She's just like texting on her phone, walking around a corner. I was just like, oh, this is so weird, but I love it.
It's your turn, Beth.
All right. This is kind of a cliche one, but I want to eat at Cinderella's royal table. I've heard very mixed reviews, but I feel like I should do it at least once.
I debated about putting this on here because I want to do it just to eat in the castle, and I feel like that's like the big draw behind it. But I've heard, like you said, mixed things. I don't know.
Has anybody been there somewhat recently?
No.
No. I went as a kid, and I remember almost nothing from it. So,
oh no.
Yeah, not to say that it wasn't like worth it or stuck in my memory as a kid, because I'm sure there's plenty of other cool things that I did at Disney that I don't remember. But yeah, I was just curious because I don't know.
I went in 07. Is that recent?
How was it then? I mean, it's the
it
most
was
recent out of all of us.
But
Probably.
I was also like an 18-year-old girl there with my boyfriend, so it was like, oh my god, I mean, that boyfriend was Will, by the way. So I don't, it was like, ooh, so romantic. If only we'd gone to play mini golf too. But it was fun. It's definitely an experience. I think that it's worth doing. I don't think it's one of those things where you're like, no, you shouldn't do it. I don't think you would regret it. But I think food-wise, that wasn't that memorable for me.
I think that could be said for pretty much all the character dining, at least the ones that I remember. You're paying more for the experience than the actual food.
Well, and I also hate characters, so that, the mice, like meeting the mice, I was like, please leave.
Please leave. Oh.
I've never actually done character dining, at least not in my memory. I may have done it when I was a kid, but I don't remember doing it. That's something I should do at least once too. Knock two birds out with one stone. Do it at Cinderella's royal table.
Let's see. For mine, I have two that I kind of want to lump together, even though they're not anywhere near each other. But I would like to go to the Walt Disney Family Museum, and I would also like to go to Marceline, Missouri.
I think that's a fair thing to lump together.
Yeah.
So obviously, I very much enjoy learning about the history of Walt and the Disney Company. So I feel like that's kind of places I need to go at some point in my life.
I think you've
Yeah.
deserved it after all the research you put into these episodes.
I didn't put those on my list because I thought we were doing like Disney specific. But yes,
That's-
I would love to go.
That's the same reason I didn't put this and Tokyo Disney on my list, because I thought we were doing Disney World. But like, I'm happy that you did, because I do really want to see both of them.
Mm-hmm.
How many more are we doing?
I only have
is my-
2, but mine are pretty.
This is my last one. I mean, I'm sure there's more stuff, but this is all I could think of.
Yeah, my last 2 are pretty weak, so we can do however many
Okay.
more. I don't care.
This is something that I'm going to call and find out because it's probably very doable. I don't know. See a surgery or a cool procedure at Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great one.
That is a good one. That's
I f-
going on my list.
I feel like you used to be able to see them a lot more. Like,
I'm just
I
next
swear
time we
I've
go,
seen
I'm
them-
going to call and be like,
Ah.
if I call up here before my trip, can you tell me what you have planned? I mean, if you have this availability to watch it, you should tell people when there's going to be stuff.
Yeah. I feel like maybe they don't always know what they're doing, but also at the same time, they should have it planned far enough in advance that they can't. I mean, they're not necessarily going to be able to print it out or put it anywhere specific that guests could kind of flock to it, because
Yeah.
that would, I feel like, require a lot of extra steps. But I don't think it would be very hard for them to tell you.
Yeah.
I feel
I'm
like
just
it
going to call
wouldn't.
like a week beforehand and ask.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that, like, we've said this before. It feels really weird that they don't post any kind of schedule for that. Like, it feels like they should.
At least, like, when you go to Rafiki's Planet Watch, they should have like a sign that says procedures happening at, and then they can have like little magnet times that they stick to it if they have any planned that day. That way, if you're already there, you can see it, or like at the train station, so you'll know, like, oh, if I go now, I can see a cool procedure thing.
Yeah. It
That doesn't seem like
something
it would be
pretty
too
simple.
hard. Yeah.
So my turn. My last 2 ones are pretty weak. So I had to get a haircut on Main Street. I feel like that is kind of on most people's bucket lists, but
Do they do adult haircuts?
They do.
I was gonna say they used to, at least, but
It's a
I-
barber shop, though. Do they do women's?
I don't know.
I'm not getting my hair cut there.
I don't think I would trust it personally. Not for
Yeah.
not. I mean, as a guy, I feel like it's very different, but it would be cool to say you did it. Maybe they could just snip a little piece. I got a haircut.
You did get more than one cut.
Yeah.
I actually kind of came close to putting this on mine too, just because it's a neat experience.
It's one of those things that, like, these last 2 ones are kind of like easily attainable, and I'm not going to feel bad if I don't ever do them, because they're not like that high up on my list. I think I probably should have started with them, but yeah.
You know, when I looked it up earlier, I was kind of surprised. I don't know how old this article was, but it was talking about, unique stuff to do at Disney. And it said that an adult haircut was $19, which I thought was pretty cheap. Like,
It's very cheap.
I know. I was like, maybe I should just start planning to get my haircut when I go to Disney because I think that's less than it costs me to get a haircut normally.
I mean,
That's funny. That could be your new tradition, assuming they do a good job. I don't
That's
see
how you
why they
can keep
wouldn't. They're not
track.
going to have just random people who don't know how to cut hair working there.
I would hope they do a good job.
That's how you can tell, like, oh,
feel like
it's been 3 months, man. We gotta go.
Yeah, it's like your new excuse. Me?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of in the same vein as yours, I want to do one of the makeovers at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique because I'm 5.
The question is, do they do those for adults?
Yes, they just started like last year or the year before. It's like a very similar experience. You don't have obviously the dress and the like the magic wand and stuff, but I do think you can get the tiara maybe.
Well,
But they do your hair and your makeup and you get a bunch of glitter and I just feel like that would be fun. I think we talked about it when it first came out. They have ones for guys too, like little like boys that's like pirates and stuff.
Yeah.
But the adult ones I don't know if they have for like adult males. But then I know
the
they do
new
for
one
adult
now,
females.
it's better than like just the hair in a bun, and like they have different things. Like you can get like a villain one, because the thing that gets me is I hate seeing all those cute little girls walking around their cute little dresses with their hair slicked so far back and so tight. It just drives me crazy. Like that is not princess to me. But if they like would do like a blowout or whatever, I would do that.
I agree. I wouldn't want like the hair slicked back like you're talking about where they basically take glitter hair gel and just go like across the head.
Yes.
But I wouldn't mind like a cute little updo or something as long as they
We
didn't
need to
use too
find
much
somebody
gel.
who's actually done it recently.
Yeah. It's called Character Couture. I just looked it up. And it looks like they do kind of, it's you walk in and you tell them what kind of hair you want. Because like the girl that posted this photo has like an Ariel inspired, and she brought like her own bow and they curled her hair and put the bow in. It looks really nice.
Nice.
Dang, it's
What
expensive
about
for
you,
everything.
Brian? Did you have anything?
I have one last one. I would like to go to D23 Expo.
Yes.
Oh,
I would love
Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm. I would really like to go as part of the media.
one of these years, maybe.
Hey, we're bigger than we were when we applied that one time.
That's for sure.
It's definitely true.
I think we just need to keep applying.
Yeah.
We just gotta hit that point of they can't say no to us.
Right.
So you're telling me there's a chance now?
I hope so. I mean, that's one thing that I really want to do too. I feel like, honestly, even if we just got to go to D23 and sit in on the parks panel, I think that would be an experience. Like,
oh, definitely.
That part alone, mixed with the stuff that happens on like the floor that you don't really get to see from like the media releases, that whole experience I think would just be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have been to New York Comic Con and little local Comic Cons, but that's kind of the only similar thing that I have done, and it was very cool. And the idea of going to one that's all Disney,
one that's specific to your fan base,
right? Because when I went to New York Comic Con, I sat in on, they had a panel that was like a Disney panel, and it was Tomorrowland and Big Hero 6. So like the cast came out and talked and did like a Q&A, and you got cool little souvenirs and posters and stuff. And they showed exclusive clips that hadn't been shown to the public yet. And that was already like amazing for me. But all of it being Disney, man, that would be wild.
I feel like it would be like sensory overload for me if I was there, though. Like it'd be so hard to pick stuff I actually wanted to go see.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we have anything else? I think because Kirsten said that was hers or her last one.
Yep, I'm done.
Did you have another one, Beth?
I did, but I don't know how we're doing on time.
I mean, if you got another one, you can throw it out. We're a little bit over an hour.
Okay, well, a lot of the other ones that I had specifically for this episode planned out to say are, again, like very achievable things that I just haven't done yet. One is just to play miniature golf at Disney World.
We're ending it on brand, aren't we?
So I just think that would be fun. I love putt-putt, but I think
would you say it's romantic?
I think it could be.
There we go.
Probably, I don't know if it would be when I go, because it depends on who I go with. If I go with Last, then maybe it's romantic. If I go with anyone else, then no, probably not.
Are you competitive?
I'm pretty competitive, but I also acknowledge that I'm not very good at putt-putt. So I wouldn't get upset if I did poorly. I really only get competitive when it's things I feel like I have a chance at.
Wow. Did you have any other ones, or is that it?
I also had to pilot the Millennium Falcon in Smuggler's Run, just because everybody says it's such a different experience. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it if you pilot it. And I want to know if that's true. I want to know if it's a completely different ride and I'm just gonna be blown away. Also, I feel like it would be more fun next time I ride it because I hadn't seen any of the original movies the first time I rode it.
I don't think it's any different.
No? Okay.
The only thing that I would really like to do with Smuggler's Run is I think I would like to ride it with a full cart of people that like I know and would be able to have fun with. I think that having a group that like you know and are comfortable with would make that experience 1,000 times better, because at that point you're probably not actually paying attention to the attraction, you're just out to have fun.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of a shame that attraction really relies on that though, but
yeah, which is why it stays on my list of not amazing attractions, because the attraction shouldn't only be amazing for a third of the passengers.
Yeah.
Well, hey, at least it's a third. It's like a 20th on Soarin'.
That is true.
That's funny.
It's very true. Well, I think we're just now hitting the point where we probably should wrap this up. So, any final thoughts from anyone before we close out this week?
I'm curious to see if our listeners have any specific things that they want to do on their bucket list that we didn't hit on.
Yes.
I'm always interested in hearing these kind of unique things. And it's something about Disney that still always surprises me. Is like trying to find unique things to do. And there's always stuff I've never heard about before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So let us know on social media or in Discord or on the website if you have anything on your Disney bucket list that we missed, because like Brian said, that would be fun to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for joining us again on another episode of the Station 71 podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you want to read our show notes or find links to all of our social media, that can be found online at www.station71podcast.com. If you have anything you want to hear us talk about or any ideas for future episodes, be sure to email them to station71podcast@gmail.com. We hope you enjoyed your ride, and we'll see you real soon.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Good night, everybody.